Okay everyone, welcome back to SAT Math Week 5. Today is the Part 1 lecture for Week 5, and we'll be working with percents. So we have this question here, and here, just reading the last question, or last sentence, if P percentage of an adult's daily allowance of potassium is provided by X servings of country grain cereal per day, which of the following expresses P in terms of X? And what you'll notice is that we only need that second and third sentence. The first one does, and the first two actually, don't really matter. We only need that 180 milligrams of potassium is 5% of the daily allowance for adults. Now, we're looking for P in terms of X, and P is in percentage. So because P is in percentage, we know that potassium is in 180 milligrams per serving, and we know one serving is 5%. So when we express P in terms of X, and P is already in percent, we can multiply that 5 times X to get P. Okay, this question here, pretty straightforward. The expression 0.35X represents the change of decreasing, or represents the results of decreasing a positive quantity X by what percent? Now, when we find percent change, we use this formula here, X minus N over 100X, which you can, factor out. We'll equate this to our given 0.35X. And once you divide by X on both sides and you subtract 1, or rather, you add the 1 over 100 and you subtract the 0.35, we find that our answer is 65%. Okay, this question gets a little complicated, so there's a lot of steps involved. So a school district is forming a committee, and those invited are 15% parents, 45% teachers, 25% administrators, and 6 individual students. So how many more teachers were invited to join the committee than school and district administrators? So we're looking at teachers first. Administrators, when we look at that, we can just add up all the percentages given and find that the students are 15% of the population. Now, in order to figure out how many, parents, teachers, and administrators take up the rest of the 85%, we can do 0.15x equals 6, divide 0.15, and we find that there are 40 individuals total. Now, we can multiply the total by the percentage of teachers and administrators there are. So there are 18 teachers and there are 10 administrators. And we can find that when you do 18 minus 10, there are 8 more teachers invited to join the committee than administrators. Okay, a positive number A is 2,241% of the sum of B and C. B is 83% of C. What percent of B is A? So this gets really complicated. So we can first write out what we have in numerical form. So we can do A equals, we can convert that 2,241% to 22.41 times B plus C. And we also know that B equals 0.83C. And we can do that by, multiplying that 0.83 times C, which equals B. And we can actually convert this to C instead. And this way we can actually just plug in and have B. So when we do that, we can do 22 times 22.41 times B plus B over 0.83. And to simplify this, we can just separate that fraction out of the B. And once you actually multiply everything together, you'll find that A equals 49.41B, which actually in percent form shows 4,941%. Okay, the manager of an online news source received the report above on the number of subscriptions sold by the service. The manager estimated that the percent increase from 2012 to 2013 would be double the percent increase from 2012 to 2014. How many subscriptions did the manager expect would be sold in 2014? Okay, so the percent increase from 2012 to 2013, we can do the percent change formula. And once you do that, we'll find there's a 5% increase. And we also know that the manager estimated that this percent is actually double the percent that would show the increase from 2013 to 2014. So the increase from 2012 to 2013 is double the percent from 2013 to 2014. So in order to find that increase from 2013 to 2014, we can just divide by 2, and we can turn this into decimal form, in which we can multiply the subscription sold in 2013 by our 2.5% increase to get 6,027. Okay, this line shows the graph of the total amount of snow in inches recorded each year in Washington, D.C. from 2003 to 2015. Now, we only care about 2003 to 2007, and P, again, is in percentage. So when we solve for this, again, we just do the percent increase formula, or rather decrease, and we know that there is a 75% decrease in the annual snowfall around this time period, and again, that is P is in percentage, so do not do this in decimal form, and this will be in the whole number, 75. Okay, this positive number A is 230% the number of B, and A is 60% the number C. If C is P% of B, which of the following is closest to the value of P? So again, P is in percentage, so it should not be a decimal. So again, we can just write this out in numerical form. A equals 2.30B, which is that percentage converted to decimals. A is also 0.6C, and we are looking for if C is P% of B. So we actually have to find C here. And once you solve for C, you'll have 3.8, 33, infinitely many times. And when converting that into percentage form, we can just multiply by 100%, and we'll find that our closest value is rounded down to 383. Okay, the number A is 190% greater than the number B. The number B is 80% less than 24. What is the value of A? Okay, when you have the number B is 80% less than 24, you can do it in 2 ways. You can either do 24 minus 24 times that 80%. Personally, I think it's easier just to do the percent change first and just multiply that 24 times 0.2. Either way works, and you'll get 4.8. And A is 190% greater than the number B. And if you're a bit confused on why you add by B, is because we have that percentage greater than the number B, meaning greater than the number B means we also add by that number B. So once you solve for B, which we did in the first equation, you know B is 4.8, and you can just plug it in here and find that A is 13.92. Okay. Zyna earned 14% more in 2007 and earned 4% more in 2008, or more than in 2008. And if Zyna earned Y times as much in 2009 as much as in 2007, what is the value of Y? So we can make 2007 a variable to make things easier, and we'll find that Zyna earned 14% more in 2008 than she did in 2007. So we'll multiply that percent change And she also earned 4% more in 2009 than in 2008. So again, we'll multiply by that percent change, and that is what we're looking for this value of y. Okay, last question today. Another one of these complicated variable questions. A is 70% less than the positive number b. Again, I like to do just 0.3b. I think it's cleaner that way. If you want to use it the other way, you can feel free. The number c is 80% greater than a, so c is 1.80a. And the number c is how many times b? So we'll just plug in 0.30b for a, and we'll find that we have 0.54b, and that is our answer here. Again, these questions are all from College Board, so these are all actual SAT questions that have been on actual SATs. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below.